We just went over a number of different areas about employee development that are very important. So we are now going to look at where to find those in the system. So we're going to take a look at the different items that are first available in the employee development module. So in the left-hand navigation pane, I'm going to select employee development. And then from here, we have the analytics and the links tabs. We want to look at the links tab, so we'll click that. And then under Competency Setup, you can see all of the different setups that you can do. We have skill types, rating models, skills, certificate types, test types, institutions, degrees, education discipline categories, and education disciplines. So let's take a look at each one. First one we'll click is skill types. You can see that there are a number of skill types that are pre-populated already, ranging from administration to IT to human resources to industry knowledge. So let's say we want to add a new skill type. And we are going to call this one coding. And we'll call it programming code. Once we've entered that, we can click Save, and we've created a new skill type. So I'm going to look at some of the other areas as well. So we're going to go back to Employee Development and the Links tab, and we're going to look at rating models next. So we'll click that. And you can see that there are 3 specific rating models. So let's take a look at one of them to get an idea of what's included here. We have the rating, which is listed just as the name, and the description is goals review. And then we have the levels that you can get rated at. The levels listed here are 1 through 5 for poor to outstanding performance, and it has the factor listed. And then you can also enter notes if you wish. You can see that there are skill ratings as well, which is actually very helpful for many things because it quantifies beginners all the way up to experts. So let's say that we want to create another one, and we will call this skill competency. And that's actually too long, it's too many characters, so we'll just call it competence. And I'll call this skill competence. And then let's create 3 basic levels just to see what they look like. So the first one we're going to list is a novice level of competence. And we'll call this novice level, and we'll indicate that this is a factor of 1. And then the next level that we'll create is proficient, and we'll call this proficient level, and we'll list it as a factor of 2. And then in the third one, we will consider this as expert, and then we'll call this expert level, and we'll list it as a factor of 3. And then we can click Save. And now we have created a new rating model. So now let's go back to our employee development page, and we will take a look at the other types of information that we can put in, starting with skills. So I'm going to click Skills in the links area. And from here, you can see that there are a number of skills already listed in the system for things like accounting and budgeting, calendar planning. And I am going to create a new skill, and we are going to call this mediation. And this will be employee mediation. And we can enter a rating here if we would like. So we can look at skill competence, which is the rating I just created. We can look at the goals review, we can look at skill ratings, or we can look at a standard rating model. So I'm going to select the standard rating model. And then in the skill type, we can select something as well. So we have administration, we have coding, which I created earlier. We can enter a lot of different things, but let's select human resources. That seems appropriate here. And we can add notes about this if we would like. So then we can close this. Let's take a look at setting up 2 more items here. So the first thing that we're going to look at is institutions, and then we will look at education discipline categories. So we can click institutions. And you can see that there are a number of different universities and colleges that are already listed here. So if we wanted to add a new institution, we would just add some basic information. So we'll call this Aspen University. And the description will be Aspen Technical University. We can list the internet address here, which you can see right now is email addresses. So we're going to list the basic administration. So we're going to call that aspen.edu. And then we can add a telephone number and a location as well. So once you've finished entering all the information here, you can close the form and it will save the institution. Next, let's take a look at the education discipline categories. In the competency setup section, you'll notice that we have education discipline categories as an option here. So I'm going to select that. And we can look at the different education discipline categories that are already listed here. We have graduate, high school, undergrad, and vocational. Let's create a new one that is called associate. And we'll call this associate degree. And then if we have existing education disciplines, which we can also set up in the setup area that are attached to this, we can add those as well. So I'm going to click the drop down. And from here, I am going to enter public relations. And then I can close the form. It's important to be familiar with the different types of competency setup that you have available in employee development to make sure that you explore and understand how to use those to best fit the needs of your company.